Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you. Have you ever imagined maybe waking up tomorrow morning feeling, well, truly revitalized, full of energy with a renewed sense of confidence, maybe vitality you haven't felt in years? For so many men over 60, the idea of reclaiming that strength, that intimacy, it often feels like a distant memory. It can get overshadowed by this common belief that decline is just natural, inevitable even. But what if we told you there's a powerful natural path to reignite that spark? And it's probably already sitting right there in your kitchen. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive. We're looking into some truly inspiring insights from Dr. Mohit Khera. He's a board-certified urologist, a men's health specialist with, get this, over 30 years of dedicated experience. Dr. Khera has really devoted his life to helping men like you reclaim their strength, their pride, their intimacy, and he brings a message, honestly, of profound hope and practical solutions, too. So our mission today is to unpack Dr. Khera's, well, it feels like a groundbreaking perspective. He suggests the solution to harder, longer-lasting erections isn't hiding in a pharmacy, but it's actually in the power of the foods we eat, everyday foods. We're going to explore exactly which foods can help restore your body's ability to perform. We'll delve into how they work, deep inside your blood vessels. And we'll try to understand why this natural approach can be, well, potentially more effective and sustainable than anything you might have tried before. So stay with us, because this is about unlocking more power, more vitality than you might have ever imagined, really, no matter your age. Okay, so let's dive right in. Doctor, many men over 60, they're often told, aren't they, that a decline in erectile strength is just normal aging, something to quietly accept. But Dr. Khera seems to challenge this very strongly. From your understanding of his work, what's the fundamental truth he wants men to grasp about why erections really fade after 60?
That's such a crucial starting point, and it's where Dr. Khera's message, I think, really hits home. He emphasizes that the real reason erections tend to fade after 60, well, it has very little to do with a man's masculinity or even his desire, actually. It has almost everything to do with blood flow. Simple as that, but profound. He often uses this analogy. It's quite powerful. Think of a vibrant river in its youth, wide, deep, rushing with energy. But over time, that river can narrow. Its banks might stiffen up a bit, and the flow, well, it gradually slows, sometimes just to a trickle.
Okay.
This isn't just a metaphor. It's pretty much what happens inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
Your arteries, they're like the rivers carrying life-giving blood. They become less flexible. And a key natural chemical, the one that helps open them up, it's called nitric oxide. Well, the levels of that drop quite dramatically with age.
Nitric oxide. Okay.
Yeah. So without those wide-open, healthy blood vessels, the penis simply can't fill with blood the way it once did. It's a mechanical thing, really. Dr. Khera shared this quite poignant story. A man in his late 60s confided in him, saying, "Doc, I still feel 20 inside my head, but my body just won't follow."
Wow. Yeah.
The man's desire, his spirit, his will, all that was vibrantly alive. But his internal plumbing, you could say, his blood vessels, they just weren't supporting him anymore.
Yeah.
So understanding this core truth that the decline isn't because you are somehow broken, but because the blood flow has become restricted, that really changes everything.
It does.
Because, what has slowed down, it can absolutely be restored. There's hope in that.
That's a huge shift in perspective, really moving away from that feeling of personal failure to, like you said, a clear biological mechanism. So if restricted blood flow is the problem, what is this natural key that Dr. Khera talks about? The one that can open those blood vessels again, bring back that youthful rush.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really exciting, I think. The natural key is a tiny molecule, but incredibly powerful. And your body already makes it. Nitric oxide.
There it is again?
Yes. It's not some, exotic drug you need to track down. It's a fundamental chemical your body produces naturally. And it acts like the master switch for blood flow throughout your entire system, actually, including, obviously, where it matters most for erectile function.
Right.
So when nitric oxide is released, it sends a signal. Tells your blood vessel walls to just relax, expand. Think back to those stiff riverbanks in the analogy. Imagine them becoming supple again, allowing the channel to widen.
Okay.
And the blood can then surge exactly where it needs to go.
Wow.
Without enough nitric oxide. Well, it doesn't matter how strong your desire is or how mentally ready you feel. Your body just physically cannot deliver the blood flow needed for a strong erection.
And that makes sense.
Dr. Khera often talks about feeling two strong emotions when he fully grasped the role of nitric oxide. One was immense excitement, right? Knowing it could change countless lives. But also deep frustration, because hardly anyone, even in the medical world sometimes, was really talking about it seriously. He remembers a patient, this man was in his 70s, came in with this quiet, almost resigned desperation. You could see it on his face. After a few simple tests, Dr. Carr explained, look, the issue isn't a lack of masculinity. It's not just low hormones necessarily. It was insufficient nitric oxide production.
And how did the patient react?
The relief on the man's face, Dr. Carr said it was palpable. It just shifted instantly from shame, maybe, to genuine hope. He finally understood the problem wasn't who he was. It was a specific biological process his body had sort of started neglecting.
Wow, that understanding must be huge.
Absolutely. And the truly empowering part, this nitric oxide production, it can be restored naturally. Think of it like this. Foods rich in natural nitrates, and we'll definitely get to the specifics, especially leafy greens. They provide your body with the raw materials, the building blocks it needs
Right.
to basically kickstart and ramp up its own nitric oxide production again. When you supply these raw materials consistently, well, your blood vessels gradually soften, circulation improves, often dramatically, and that vital blood flow returns. It's like turning the key in an engine that hasn't roared to life in years.
Great analogy.
And critically, unlike, the little blue pill everyone talks about,
Right.
which gives a temporary sort of artificial boost, boosting your natural nitric oxide production actually addresses the root cause. It helps restore the body's own function over time.
That's a really compelling distinction, addressing the root cause, not just masking the symptom.
Okay, so doctor, if leafy greens are a primary source, and honestly they sound so simple, almost deceptively simple, how does Dr. Carr translate this powerful science into practical advice? What food actually holds this incredible power? And I guess, how much are we talking about here?
Yeah, it does sound simple, doesn't it? But the effect is profound. When men ask Dr. Kara, just tell me what food actually brings it back, the answer, as you said, is often surprisingly straightforward, yet incredibly effective. It's humble, everyday, leafy green vegetables.
Okay, like spinach.
Exactly. We're talking about the powerhouses like spinach, kale, or arugula's fantastic collard greens, Swiss chard, even things like romaine lettuce count. These aren't just, healthy.
Yeah.
They are nature's most potent nitric oxide boosters, period. They're absolutely packed, just loaded with natural nitrates. And your body, it readily and efficiently converts those nitrates into that vital nitric oxide.
So you're literally fueling the process. Precisely. By regularly including them in your diet, you're not just eating a salad, right? You're actively feeding your blood vessels the exact fuel they need to relax, open wide, and let that blood surge freely. Dr. Carr often tells this story. A patient in his mid-60s. Felt like he'd tried everything. You know the story.
Yeah.
Years struggling with intimacy, trying pills, supplements, limited success. He was pretty much ready to give up. Dr. Carr simply asked him to commit to something straightforward. Not a complicated diet, just 6 servings of leafy greens a day.
6 servings. Okay. That sounds like a lot, but maybe doable.
It sounds like a lot, but you can get creative. Smoothies, salads, sautéed. Anyway, what happened next was, well, truly remarkable for this man. Within just a few weeks, he started noticing his morning erections returning. Stronger, more consistent, a feeling he hadn't experienced in years.
Wow.
In weeks.
Yeah.
In weeks. And then months later, his confidence was just back. He told Dr. Carr, I feel like myself again, truly myself. And the point is, this wasn't some miracle, right? It was biology, just biology working exactly as it was designed to once it got the right fuel.
That's incredible.
And what's so great about this particular solution is just how accessible it is. No prescription needed, no complicated, expensive plan, just a plate filled consistently with these amazing greens.
That patient story is really inspiring, doctor. It definitely makes you wonder, though, is it just an isolated case? Maybe he was just lucky. Or does this simple approach hold true for, well, most men over 60? What does the bigger picture, the broader science tell us? Can every man expect similar results?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Because individual stories, they motivate us, absolutely. But it's the robust scientific evidence that really changes medical practice and ultimately people's lives. And when it comes to this link diet, blood flow, erectile health, the evidence isn't just compelling, it's frankly overwhelming and very consistent. Over the past few decades, study after study, they've confirmed that men who eat more plant-based, nitrate-rich food, they don't just live longer, they maintain stronger, more reliable erectile function well into their later years.
Okay, so what are some examples of these studies?
Well, for instance, there's the landmark NANI study. It was extensive, tracked over 2,500 men, and the results were really undeniable. Those who consistently followed a plant-focused diet had a significantly lower risk of erectile dysfunction.
Significant how?
Significant enough that it was a clear pattern. And what makes this study really relevant for our listeners today is that many of the participants were already in their 60s and 70s. So it shows the benefits aren't just for younger guys, it works at any age.
Right. Good point.
Then there's an even larger one, the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. Impressive stuff. Followed over 21,000 men for decades.
Wow, 21,000 men.
Yeah, imagine the data. Years of tracking, thousands of lives. And the results were crystal clear. Men who consistently ate healthier diets enjoyed an 18% lower risk of erectile dysfunction.
18%.
Yep.
That's nearly 1 in 5 men.
Exactly. Think about that. Almost 1 in 5 men in that massive study avoided the struggle that so many others just accept as normal aging, purely by making different choices on their plates.
That's powerful data.
It really is. And just to run right up to date, a comprehensive meta-analysis, that's where they combine data from many studies, was published just this year, 2024. Researchers pulled together data from 14 different studies, analyzed nearly 27,400 men across diverse countries, different lifestyles.
And the conclusion?
Clear and consistent. Mediterranean diets, other plant-based diets, they consistently provided significant protection against the decline in sexual health. So these weren't just isolated findings, or some fleeting trend. These results were replicated again and again across cultures over decades among all sorts of men for doctors like Dr. Khera. This isn't just abstract data. It's really a beacon of hope. It tells us fundamentally that men are not destined to decline. Their bodies are fully capable of rebuilding, of thriving, regardless of their age.
The consistency across all that research is really compelling. It definitely shows this isn't just a theory, but proven science.
Yeah.
Okay, so, doctor, for the man listening right now, maybe feeling genuinely ready to make these changes, what does Dr. Khera's practical prescription look like? You mentioned leafy greens, obviously. But beyond that, what exactly should he be aiming to put on his plate, say, every single day, for lasting change?
Yeah, that's the moment Dr. Khera really values. When a man looks him in the eye and says, "Okay, doc, just tell me what to eat." He knows that man is ready to reclaim his vitality. And the beautiful truth is, the prescription, as you call it, isn't complicated. It's really about making conscious choices. Filling your plate with foods that actively work to open blood vessels, fuel that nitric oxide production, and keep your arteries young and flexible.
Okay, break it down for us.
Right. So at the very heart of the plate, the centerpiece, as we've hammered home, should be those leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, collards.
Got it. The non-negotiable.
Pretty much. They really are medicine in disguise. Packed with those natural nitrates your body uses to unlock strong erections and just better circulation overall. But they're the foundation, right? You want to surround those greens with other supportive foods. So think whole grains, things like oats, brown rice, quinoa. These give you steady energy, keep your blood sugar stable, which is crucial for healthy arteries, instead of those damaging spikes from refined sugars.
Makes sense.
Don't forget nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, they're rich in healthy fats, antioxidants, essential nutrients. They protect your heart and improve circulation too. Fruits are vital, especially berries, blueberries, strawberries, oranges. Pomegranates are great too. They're loaded with antioxidants that actually help repair the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, make them more responsive, more supple.
Repair them. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then there are legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, powerful plant-based proteins. They build strength, sustain you, but without the inflammatory load that sometimes animal proteins can carry. And finally, simple swaps. Healthy oils, extra virgin olive oil, maybe avocado oil, for cooking or dressing. Easy changes that help keep blood flowing freely.
Okay, that's a great list of yes foods. What about the no foods? What should be left off the plate?
Right. Equally important. What you consciously leave off your plate matters just as much, sometimes more, for restoring vitality. This means significantly cutting back on red meats, processed meats like bacon and sausage, fried fast food, definitely sugary drinks, and those refined carbohydrates, white bread, pastries, that kind of stuff.
Why those specifically?
Because these foods, consumed regularly over time, they slowly, sort of, choke your circulation. They inflame your arteries. They basically steal away your vitality. But replacing them, it isn't about deprivation. Dr. Khera frames it as liberation. It's the freedom to feel energized again, confident, to live fully.
Liberation, not deprivation. I like that framing. It's a comprehensive plan, but it does feel remarkably straightforward. Less like a restrictive diet, more like a roadmap to rejuvenation, maybe. But I imagine many listeners are wondering, okay, this sounds good, but how soon? How soon will I actually start to feel the difference? How quickly can my body respond?
That's a very natural question. Absolutely. Because when hope starts to return, men want to know about the timeline, right? And what Dr. Carr consistently sees in his patients, and what the research backs up, is that your body genuinely responds faster than you might think. We're not talking years to see the first changes.
Okay, so how fast?
For many men, within just a few short weeks, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks of consistently eating these foods, they begin to notice small changes, but incredibly powerful changes. This might be a stronger morning erection, the kind they thought was gone for good.
Right.
Or maybe just a noticeable increase in energy in the afternoon instead of that usual slump. For others, it's more subtle, a quiet growing confidence, a feeling that their body is starting to respond again. These first signs, they're like sunlight breaking through after a long cloudy spell. They remind you your body is still alive, still capable of rebuilding.
That's encouraging. What happens after those first few weeks?
As you move past that initial phase, say into the 3-month mark, the progress often becomes much harder to ignore. Erections tend to become firmer, more reliable. Overall energy levels are noticeably steadier throughout the day.
Yeah.
Men often report genuinely feeling younger, more in control of their bodies, and feeling more connected with their partners, which is huge.
Absolutely.
And then, for those who maintain this consistent commitment, and consistency really is the key word here. Dr. Khera has seen truly remarkable transformations. Within a year, he's witnessed men in their 60s, even their 70s, experiencing erections that are stronger, more consistent than what they remember having in their 40s.
Stronger than in their 40s.
Really? But again, it's not magic. It's not a pill. It's the profound result of rebuilding blood flow, strengthening those arteries, re-optimizing natural processes, meal by meal, day by day. Now, this kind of transformation, it definitely requires patience. It requires unwavering consistency. But the rewards, both physical and emotional, they are truly extraordinary.
The idea of regaining that kind of vitality, stronger even than before in some cases, that's truly inspiring. And yet, doctor, it seems like, well, like so many men never give themselves the chance to even start this journey, let alone reach that point of profound change you're describing. From Dr. Khera's decades of experience, what do you think is the biggest reason men miss this opportunity? And crucially, what can our listeners do, starting right now, to make sure they don't make that same mistake?
That is precisely the question that I think weighs most heavily on Dr. Khera. He often talks about seeing men in his office with what he calls the heavy look of regret. Men who whisper things like, maybe I should have tried harder when I was younger, or maybe this is just the way life has to be now.
Oh, that's tough to hear.
It breaks his heart. Because he knows, absolutely unequivocally, it never had to be that way. The core reason most men miss this incredible opportunity, it isn't because the solution isn't possible or it's too hard. It's because no one ever really told them the honest truth. They've been conditioned, really, by society, by quick fix marketing, by this pervasive story that says decline is natural, weakness is inevitable, and your only option is to, hide behind pills or just silence.
So it's a lack of information, partly.
The huge lack of the right information. And what Dr. Khera's 3 decades of seeing patients has shown him is this profound truth. Decline is not inevitable. Not usually. It is, more often than not, a choice. And so, powerfully, is renewal. But we live in a world, don't we, that constantly sells quick fixes. A pill for every problem, a shortcut for every challenge. It's often just easier for the system maybe to hand out a prescription than it is to empower someone with the knowledge and tools to fundamentally change their life, to restore their health naturally.
Right. It takes more effort.
It does. And yes, rebuilding through food and lifestyle, it takes effort. No doubt. It demands consistency, patience, and maybe most importantly, a deep-seated belief that you are still absolutely worth the work. And sadly, too many men give up too soon, before their bodies have really had a chance to heal and respond fully.
So how do our listeners avoid that?
Well, the very fact that you are here, right now, listening to this deep dive, searching for answers, seeking insights, that signifies something really important. It shows you're different. You're already taking that crucial first step, empowering yourself with knowledge. And Dr. Khera would tell you with absolute certainty, it is never too late.
Ever, even in your 70s or 80s.
Never. He has personally witnessed men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s, completely transform their vitality, their
potent medicine. Medicine that repaired your blood vessels and reignites your strength from the inside out. And science backs this up, doesn't it? Studies with thousands of men across decades, cultures, they overwhelmingly confirm what Dr. Carr sees firsthand. A plant-based Mediterranean-style diet dramatically lowers the risk of ED, protects sexual health even well into your 70s and 80s. And the timeline, it's more encouraging than you might think. Small improvements in weeks, undeniable changes in months, and potentially life-altering results within a year for those who stay consistent. You absolutely don't have to be one of the men who miss this chance. The choice is yours, right now. You can accept decline, or you can actively choose renewal. Your body is ready. Your pride is waiting. Your best, most vital years, they are not behind you. They could be just ahead, waiting for you to claim them, one meal at a time. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into reclaiming your vitality. If this message resonated with you, if it maybe sparked a flicker of hope or gave you a clear path forward, please consider liking this video. Maybe share it with someone who could truly benefit from hearing this. And subscribe to our channel so you never miss another powerful health lesson. Your support really helps us bring more of these vital insights to light. We genuinely appreciate you, and we really look forward to our next deep dive together.